This video is brought to you by Skillshare. How amazing are the Arkham games? They're gothic, they're beautiful, they're filled with fluid gameplay that makes you feel like you are the goddamn Batman. And best of all, they take these characters seriously. They tell mature and layered stories that will continue to be talked about for years. Do you guys remember that demo for Arkham Asylum? I didn't even have a PlayStation or Xbox at the time. I was a little punk who showed the Wii, so I used to loiter at my GameStop day after day, playing it over and over until I was kindly asked to buy something or, fucking leave. I was obsessed with Arkham Asylum. I had Game Informer pages with concept art from it taped to my wall. I had begged my parents to get me an Xbox 360 for my birthday just so I could play this game. They got me the Xbox, but Asylum got delayed and I honestly cried myself to sleep for the next 3 months. I don't know if I'll ever recover. The point is, these games mattered to me. They mattered to me because Batman matters to me. We got 4 games that told Batman stories that the movies weren't telling. Batman stories that were much closer in tone, execution, and character to my favorite comic books as well as the animated series. From that original trailer that just showed off the Asylum to the insane trippy ending of Arkham Knight, the Arkham series has served as pretty much the perfect adaptation of Batman and his world. In my mind, this wonderful Arkham series is the spiritual successor to the iconic and everlasting animated series. Asylum and City are known to be masterpieces that set the bar for superhero games. They have been talked about and praised to death, but all these games are goddamn great to me. In fact, this may be a hot take, but I think the 2 games that people claim are the worst of the series, Arkham Origins and Arkham Knight, are the 2 games that have the most to say about the character of Batman. Calling Arkham Knight a series of boring tank battles is such a massive disservice to the story it's trying to tell, and calling Arkham Origins a reskinned Arkham City is, give me a second.
When the mugger or the thief stops to think twice, that is fear. That is what I am. That is why they hired assassins, because I am the reason the criminals breathe easier when the sun rises.
Arkham Origins does this fascinating thing. It takes Bruce Wayne and makes him a complete and utter dick, a stubborn, entitled, one-man, bone-breaking machine that believes he is an unstoppable force, a man who believes that the bounty on his head and the 8 assassins hunting him down is of no threat to him.
So no, Alfred, I am not in over my head. But it will be theirs.
It's for sure arrogance, but I think that arrogance, that brashness, comes from Bruce's own fear. Not the fear of being killed or brought down, but the fear of letting people in. Not the fear of being Batman, but the fear of being Bruce Wayne. It's a classic character trait. Bruce is better at being an intimidating, terrifying vigilante than he is at being a man, being a human being. But this game turns that into his biggest character flaw. There's a reason Batman is still a myth when the game starts. There's a reason this is the first interaction Bruce has in the game.
Man is the island, Bruce. You've been back for almost 2 years now. You can't expect me to believe that Gotham's most eligible bachelor is spending another Christmas alone.
You just ran out of time.
The story being set on Christmas Eve isn't just because Christmas and Batman are the stunning visual equivalent of peanut butter and jelly. It's not only because having the city be covered in snow freshens up the reused assets from Arkham City, but because Christmas is a time of family, of warmth, of comfort. While everyone is cozied up inside next to the warm fireplace, spending time with the ones they love most, our boy Bruce is outside in the cold, hunting down the guilty, utterly alone. It may be his duty, his responsibility to be out there, but this goes beyond that. From the opening cutscene, it's clear that he is much more comfortable going out there than he is spending time eating Christmas dinner with the man who raised him. Remember when everyone threw a shit fit about the big plot twist, which is a genuinely great plot twist? The plot twist that Black Mask is really the Joker? The main villain of the game wasn't Sionis, and it wasn't the Assassins, but it was once again the Joker. Listen, the entire Arkham series boiled down is about one thing: the relationship between Batman and the Joker. Asylum establishes the classic duo, City fundamentally changes that relationship, and Origins is the origin of it. And what WB Montreal does with the Joker is frankly fucking fantastic. Going into the bank and seeing body after body meticulously laid out, strung up, mangled, puts you into the mindset of Batman. He's dealt with criminals, freaks, madmen, but he's never dealt with a monster. Someone who cares so little for what Bruce cares about the most, human life. What I find captivating is at first the Joker doesn't give two shits about Batman. He truly wants him dead. He's an obstacle in his way, something that must be taken out. It's not until Batman risks his own life to save him that something deeper and far more compelling forms.
Why? Why would you do that? Newsflash! I'm the one who's trying to kill you!
From that point on, Arkham Origins becomes one of my favorite Batman Joker stories in any medium. I already made a video way back about how their relationship is essentially a really fucked up love story, and I stand by that. Joker has fallen for Batman just as Batman fell for the Joker. He sees something in Batman. He sees that both him and Bruce
Exist because of them!
They both exist because of the people, dare I say it, the society that forced them to exist. The difference between them being Bruce chooses to protect that society while Joker chooses to mock it. They are two sides of the same coin, and Origins spends a lot of time making that abundantly clear. Honestly, I'm not even bullshitting for the sake of the video. This is one of my favorite moments in any video game. The clever writing, the idea that Harley believes the Joker is talking about her when he's really talking about him.
Someone very, very special. But whose real name I don't even know yet.
My name's Harleen. Harleen Quinzel.
The fact that you get to play as the Joker and see the world through his eyes before immediately getting a peek into the mind of Bruce.
Why do you do what you do?
Placing those bits right next to each other furthers the idea that these two are kindred spirits in a way. An idea that the Joker wants Bruce to realize. He wants to prove they are the same. He wants to prove that deep down at their core, they are both lonely, isolated freaks willing to do anything to complete their missions. It takes Batman almost losing Alfred to Bane, one of the assassins Joker hired, for Bruce to realize he has been doing this Batman thing all wrong.
Don't add me to the weight you carry.
For Bruce to get some humility and learn that being an angry lone vigilante with a chip on his shoulder isn't being a hero.
I can't do it. I can't stop them.
No, you can't. Not on your own.
Isolating yourself doesn't make you strong. It makes you angry and fearful.
But it's high time you realize that you are a man, not an island. And a man's strength comes not from just brawn and intelligence, but also from his allies.
It makes Bruce closer to the monsters he's trying to stop. If Bruce had kept going down this path, kept being a vengeful warrior who believes caring and trusting is a weakness, then night after night he would become more and more of a monster. He would become more and more like the Joker. But for the first time in the game, he listens to Alfred instead of aggressively dismissing him. For the first time in the game, Bruce changes.
They need you.
No. They need us.
It's fitting that the final free-flow combat section of Arkham Origins before you finally confront the Joker in the chapel isn't Batman pounding down 30 goons by himself. It's Batman pounding on 30 goons with the help of Gordon.
You fight well.
Had a rough childhood.
That's just so cool. I love gameplay moments like this that are entirely in service of the characters and their arcs. Bruce has changed and the way you play the game has changed. It all builds to the moment where you finally get to beat the snot out of the Joker while he raves about how similar he and Bruce are.
Oh, if you'd actually let me finish a sentence, you might learn something. You might learn that we're not so different.
And he's right about a lot of things. Maybe Batman does enjoy this. Maybe he does need to beat the guilty to feel whole. But at this point, Bruce has grown and we have grown. And by the time we land that final punch, we know that while Batman and the Joker are indeed two sides of the same coin, they are not the same. The Joker is alone and we are not. Sure, Arkham Origins is not a perfect game by any means. The story gets a little too caught up in fulfilling the assassin's quota it promised, but the heart and ideas are too good to ignore. Bringing Bruce's character flaws to the forefront, giving him an arc that has weight, diving this deep into the Batman-Joker relationship, and doing this all in a video game prequel is something that I never thought I would see. It's something that I wish more Batman stories in any medium would do. Arkham Origins works because it's not only the origin of the relationship between Batman and the Joker, Arkham Origins is the origin of Batman, the hero, and Bruce Wayne, the man. Once again, I have to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers membership with meaning. From design, business, filmmaking, and more, there's so much to explore and so many real projects to create. I recently took Maddie Brown's class, Low Budget Filmmaking, Tips and Tricks for an Indie Look, and was honestly impressed with how down-to-earth and real it was. He's not caught up in the technical aspects of filmmaking, which can be very intimidating, especially to first-time filmmakers. He's more interested in the emotion behind filmmaking. Brown goes on to talk about his experimental style of shooting and editing, how he stays inspired, and shows off the completed project that we saw the making of. His class, as well as most of the classes, are short, sweet, and to the point, and won't take up the bulk of your night out there fighting crime. You also don't need to be a fictional billionaire with a large trust fund to afford Skillshare. It'll only cost you less than $10 a month. Click that link in the description to get 2 free months of Skillshare Premium. That link right there, and make 2020 a year where you explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity with Skillshare.